Third race of the weekend is about to get underway for the Demon Tweeks Yokohama Locost Championship, and it's Matt Grow who's on pole position. He came fifth earlier on, so let's have a quick chat with him.
Oh yeah?
Matt, first race, you were fifth. You're on pole for this third race. Mr. Burton's quick. He was on a podium earlier on.
Yes.
I got to keep him behind you.
I just got to drive it neat and tidy, really. I made a couple too many mistakes, just a bit scrappy at times. I think it's all about getting clean entries into the corner, getting it planted and getting the power down. I think that's it, really. And then just ultimately these things are barn doors, really. They're not very efficient, so the toe in these is incredible. So all I can really do is drive a neat race, keep it online and see what these guys, these guys are pretty quick as well, so it's going to be fun.
We can't wait. Good luck.
Thanks very much.
Cheers. So, Andy, over to you for race 3.
Thank you, Anthony. This should be a cracking encounter. Matt Grow on pole from Mark Burton, row 1. Martin West and Louis Waller on row 2, ahead of David Winter and Tim Penstone-Smith. Then Peter Wood, Thomas Gadd, Gregory Smith and Tim Neat. Some quick drivers there towards the back end of the top 10 groups. A and B this is, so we have the second and final race of the weekend for these two groups, and the red lights are on. The black car of Grow on pole, the red car of Burton alongside him. Lights out, away we go, and it's Burton who gets the jump, and he will grab the early advantage down towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. There's the Union flag car of Tim Penstone-Smith in the middle of the group as well. Mark Burton, third place in his first race earlier on. He grabs the early advantage here. Here's Tim Neat, who was running well in the first race of the weekend before dropping back late on to finish 6th. He'll be looking to try and break into the top 5 this time around. And towards Druids they go, back out and down the hill, and Tim Penstone-Smith there, side by side with Thomas Gadd in the black, grey and green car. But there we see the number 26 machine of Mark Burton leading the way. Matt Grow is there in second place. I think it was Martin West third. Yes, it is, the black and gold car. Into the left-hander at Surtees. Penstone-Smith side by side again there. Number 22 Louis Wall is in this group as well. Louis arriving here at Brands Hatch, joint third in the championship actually with Ben Powney. Well, Ben Powney has won a race this weekend, and he's finished, in fact he's won 2 races this weekend, beg your pardon, and so it's looking good for Ben to potentially move through into the championship lead. Of course, the championship leader coming into this weekend though was Mark Burton, who's leading this race. All 3 abreast, that's getting dicey. On board here with Vicky Baldwin a bit further back. Vicky's got a slightly calmer time of things as she turns her way through Paddock Hill Bend. It's sort of kicking off in front of her, look, but there was plenty of entertaining stuff going on further up the road into Druid. Bit of a lock up. Look at the ducking and diving going on. Once you lose a place in most forms of motorsport, you sort of take a lap or so just to take stock of the situation and try and limit the damage done. In low-cost racing, if you lose a place, you try and get it right back, not at the next corner, just later on round that corner, because you can overtake at pretty much any part of the track. Well, through Surtees and McLaren we go again. There is the number 35 car of David Winter trying to challenge the number 12 of Thomas Gadd. 2 grey and green cars together. At the front though, I noticed we have had another lead change, I think. I don't think that's Mark Burton leading. There's no, it's Matt Grow, but now going around the outside of him is Martin West. So Martin West is going to move through into the race lead, and Mark Burton's trying to join back in as well. He's dropped from first to third then since the last time we saw him. But this is looking like another typical Demon Tweeks Yokohama Low-Cost Championship race as Burton sees a gap. What a move that was. Up the inside into Druids, just about. The door was left open by Matt Grow, but Matt Grow is now going to try and hold on to the inside line down into Graham Hill Bend. This is going to be close. 2 wheels on the grass. Don't touch, boys. They just about managed to stay away from each other. Tim Neat, I think that is the white car, who's 4th. Third in the shot. As we head down the Cooper Straight into Surtees again. We saw in race 2 how Ben Powney was able to really escape from the rest of the field. Well, is that what we're going to see in this one, I wonder, from Martin Westlock, because he's already starting to build a bit of a gap. He's almost broken the toe, I'd say, over Mark Burton in second, and it doesn't look like Mike Grow is going to work with Mark Burton to try and catch the leader either, because he's back alongside for second place. It's the wrong side of the road into Paddock Hill Bend. Now you see that there wasn't really any sense in that. He pulled out to try and make the move. It didn't work, and all that time they were running side by side. They could have been locking bumpers and working together. As it is, they've had a good run through Paddock anyway, and they are starting to reel in the race leader once more. Up into Druids we go. There's the 69 car again of Gregory Smith, who had that late spin after contact with Oliver Batten in race 2. Well, Oliver's not in this race, Gregory will be glad to know, and he'll be looking to try and get himself into the top 10 this time, which was definitely what the promise was in the first race. Cooper Straight. There goes Gregory into the left-hander at Surtees, and the car in front of him is still Thomas Gadd, then the black and green number 12 car. Through the right-hander back onto the pit straight again, right out to the edge of the racetrack. Look at that, flirting with danger every time you do that, because the track keeps going right, and if you don't keep going right with it, you get sucked straight into that gravel trap. Good run though from Smith, gets himself up alongside Thomas Gadd, and that was a textbook slipstreaming manoeuvre, nicely done. And he's now got a bit of a gap to try and close on this group of 7 cars, 7 or 8 cars fighting for the race lead, hard to tell. There's lots of them anyway, and Tim Neatlook is going for 3rd. Diving up the inside there of Martin West and chops across his nose on the exit of the corner, but good stuff there from Tim Neat, who started 10th on the grid, and he's up to 3rd place already. Back out along the Cooper Straight. They've definitely caught Burton, so there's no way that Burton has made a break, and you'd sense that if he was going to, that was his opportunity, so it's likely that as long as Burton's in front, no one else is going to be able to pull out much of a gap into clearways. Macro now the man challenging for the lead. Tim Neat up into 3rd, Martin West down to 4th. You won't be too pleased with that, although he gets a decent exit from the corner there. Nice wide line there from West, carries some good momentum onto the straight, but are we about to see another lead change? Looks like we might. Macro goes to the outside, up towards Paddock Hill Bend, gets his nose in front, but is he going to be able to make the move stick? Martin West has gone back through ahead of Tim Neat for 3rd. What's going on for the race lead? No, it's still going to be Burton that holds on, but now Grove gets the switchback manoeuvre, gets up the inside towards Druid. To the outside goes Martin West, 3 abreast again for the race leading towards Druid. And look at Tim Penstone Smith. Tim Penstone Smith dives through into 4th, then thinks he'll have a go for 3rd as well, backs out of that one, and at the end of it all, it's Matt Grove that has the lead. Mark Burton 2nd, Martin West 3rd, and Tim Penstone Smith comes past into 4th position. So Tim Neat, he said he was just trying to stay out of it there, but he was waiting to see what the 3 in front of him did, and all of a sudden that Union flag car was straight up the inside. Penstone Smith breaks through into the top 4. Had a podium at Castle Coombe, did Tim Penstone Smith, so we look to try and repeat that performance here at Brands Hatch, as they take 3 or 4 different lines out of Clearways and Clark Curve. On board here, looking back at Martin West, and you can see the slipstream taking effect again as the 94 car gets close, but as soon as he pulls out, he hits that wall there, and can't go anywhere with it. Back into Paddock we go. Paddock looking forwards, it's entertaining enough. Look at that plunge downhill though on the exit of the corner. That was on board with Mark Burton in 2nd place, who would rather like to get the lead back if he can. Tim Neat would rather like to get his 4th place back as well. The little field was nicked from him up at Druids a lap ago. What's going on behind? Slipping backwards slightly is Louis Wall. Look, the black car with the pink wheels and the pink roll cage. He's lost a few positions now into 8th places, Louis, and it is a 10-car lead train this. And we've got a bit of side-by-side action there by the looks of it, have we? No, not quite. That was David Winter just about holding on to, I think, 6th position. But any one of these places could change at any moment in time. Macro has the lead. Burton this time will try and use the slipstream to get up alongside him down the pit straight, maybe. Is he going to get help from Martin West? No, Martin West is going to pull out and try and pass him, is he? Further back, number 84 there is Carl Rishnaz, and he is dicing away well down the order, but just goes to show that the fighting throughout the field is just as intense as it is at the front. Don't be fooled into thinking that the top 10 cars are going hell for leather and everyone else is just sort of following them round. There is good racing going all the way through the field. There's a car either off or has been off at Paddock Hill Bend. I don't know who, but the number 74 car appears to have some slightly dirty tyres, which is Gary Brandon. Although I think he was just dicing with this group anyway. But either way, whoever was in the gravel, I think has rejoined, so no need for a live snatch vehicle or anything. Down the Cooper Straight they go. 66 is the black and pink car, Lee McNamara, also a part of this group. They go through Surtees into the right-hander at the end of the lap. Slithering and sliding around all over the place there, and of course we're late in the day now. There'll be lots of dirt, lots of rubber, lots of debris and dust that's been kicked off onto the outside of the racing line, and that means that driving offline is treacherous back around the outside. It really does look far too easy with the slipstream, doesn't it, for Gary Brandon picking up a place there. Right, back with our leaders, and guess what, it's all changed again. Mark Burton, I think, has now got the lead from Martin West 2nd, and Tim Penstone Smith is 3rd. So Matt Groh has fallen all the way down to 4th place. There's a back marker ahead now as well, which doesn't really know which way to go. That's probably the right move. Pull over to driver's left, wave them all through. You do not want to get in the way of this snarling pack in towards towards Surtees again. Do they all get through before the left-hander? No, not quite. It's going to hold a few of them, possibly. Back hard when a train of 10 cars coming through, and there is barely a straight to speak on the underground track. It's almost impossible to get out of the way. Right, on board with Burton, leading the race. Martin West there, the number 94 car, we're getting a very good look at the front of his car as he weaves this way and that, trying to decide which way to go. Outside, inside, goes to the outside in the end, and that might not be the way to go because Tim Benstone-Smith sees a gap up the inside, and I thought was going to go try and get 2 in 1 then and take the race lead. In the end, he backed out of it because it was almost certain contact that was on the cards there, but Martin West is looking back to the inside, up towards Druids. Burton hanging on though, Matt Grow there around the outside, but that leaves the door open for Tim Neat on the inside. And Tim and Matt will run side by side down the hill. Thomas Gadd there, the green and black car in behind as well, but this is turning into a bit of a 6-car breakaway all of a sudden. The group behind being led by David Winter just slipping out of contention ever so slightly. But Tim Penstone-Smith, I think, will want to move at the moment. He's worked his way through steadily into 3rd place now, having started 6th, got about it in a sort of quiet, assured fashion. Just picking up the places as and when they presented themselves to him, rather than really going forward. He's all sideways out of clearways, and Matt Grow will instantly leap back alongside him. More gesticulations there from Tim Neat as he's getting a bit of a push from Thomas Gadd behind. Penstone-Smith and Grow still side by side actually, and Penstone-Smith will hang on. Jostling going on behind, that's David Winter losing out there to Thomas Gadd, I think. David Winter's race started off fairly well, but it's starting to slip now slightly. Oh, and Penstone-Smith slips behind the other Tim Neat, who nicks that podium place off him, but then runs a bit deep under braking. Penstone-Smith's back alongside now. Down into Graham Hill Bend, squeezing each other slightly under braking. Whoa! And that's Matt Grow, who, I don't know where he was going then, but he skated straight off onto the grass, and they're all going to go sailing through. David Winter's gone through. That's Gregory Smith trying to get up the inside now. And Matt Grow, well, that may well be the end of his hopes of winning this race because there are only a couple of minutes to go, and it'll take some doing to work your way right the way back up to the front of this queue. Back out of clearways again, and this is possibly allowing the top 2 to make a break. Now, I'd be interested to see whether Martin West is trying to attack for the lead. Well, yes, there's the answer. He is trying to attack for the lead. I wonder whether maybe he was working with Mark Burton to build a gap. We're on to the final lap of the race, though, and this could be a decisive move by Martin West. He goes right around the outside of Paddock Hill Bend. He's done it. Brilliant stuff. It's very rare that you see that move work, but Martin West executed it to perfection, and he has the race lead. But is that the right place to be? Because he's going to be a sitting duck when we get out onto the pit straight, and crucially, Mark Burton is under no pressure from the cars behind, so Mark can do pretty much whatever he likes here to try and get the lead back, knowing that if it doesn't work, he's highly unlikely to lose any more places. Tim Neat's got himself onto the podium, by the way, and Tim Penstone-Smith has disappeared right the way down the order, so he's had a moment somewhere. But who is going to take the final victory of the weekend in the Demon Tweeks Yokohama Low-Cost Championship? Martin West leads the way. 2nd place right behind him, though, is Mark Burton. I think Martin might just have done enough here. He's got a decent gap coming out onto the pit straight. Burton is in the tow. He is closing, you know, it's going to be close. He's going to pull out of the slipstream, side by side to the finish line, and it is a photo finish, which is taken by Mark Burton by 3/100ths of a second. Mark Burton is your winner. What a race that was. Burton the victor, Martin West is 2nd. Tim Neat comes home in 3rd place. There's confirmation of the result. 4th is Thomas Gadd, 5th David Winter, 6th in the end for Matt Grow, he'll be disappointed. 7th Gregory Smith, 8th Louis Wall, 9th Peter Wood, and also disappointed with 10th will be Tim Penstone-Smith. He was on the podium a few laps from home. Then it's Gary Brandon, David Mason, Rob Apsey, Dave Berry and Carl Rusenars who rounds out the top 15. We lost from that race only 2 drivers, Lee McNamara and Stephen Wright, but what a show was put on by all in all 3 races today. But a photo finish to round out the day's action is only fitting.
Well, Mark, it's turned into a pretty successful weekend for you, a 3rd and a 1st. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, fantastic weekend for me. The closest rival in the championship at the moment is Ben Powney. He had 2 wins today, so a win and a 3rd. I was a little bit ahead, so I think we're pretty close now, so very, very happy with that, yeah.
It's going to be an interesting season.
It's going to be very close, yeah. I think it's always close in Locusts, but this year even more so. There's a lot of very fast cars and drivers this year, yeah.
Well, you've got another race tomorrow. You're looking forward to it?
Yeah, it should be good fun. Yep, looking forward to it.
Well,
Yeah.
for now, go and enjoy it. Well done.
Thanks very much.
Martin, it's been a good haul of points so far this weekend. Second place and a third place. Good for the championship.
Yep, happy with second and third. I would have liked the first win just a moment ago, but it'll come soon enough, hard enough. 300 thousandths or whatever it was, but fair play to Marky. Done me on the line, so hopefully I'll return the favour sometime soon.
I'm overwhelmed with how close this racing is, especially with the lack of power of 1300cc engine. It's just so close and it still looks fast.
Yeah, it's brilliant. There's no point being 10 seconds up the road racing on your own. What's the fun in that? You want to be in a battle throughout the whole duration of the race, and that's certainly what you get with Locost.
Well, we've still got a few more races this weekend, but for now, the sun's out, go and enjoy it. Well done.
And you, thank you.
Tim, cracking the haul of points so far. You had a 6th and a 3rd place, but what a race that was.
Yeah, it was good from inside the car as well. I mean, I'm just trying as hard as I can. I think 3rd was as good as I could have possibly done today. We're down a little bit on power, and hopefully for the next round at Croft we should have a new engine in and we should be a bit further up there. The car's going brilliantly around the corners. I'm just struggling a little bit on the straights, but I kind of sat in that race. I don't know if it was 5th or 6th, and then the Union Jack car on the Druids on the hairpin, I saw an opportunity there and I went for it, and luckily it paid off. I mean, it was a bit dicey, but it was a move, and I managed to make it stick, and that basically got me my 3rd place. So very, very pleased for the weekend. Yeah.
You've got to be bold with your moves around Brands Hatch. It's a very short and twisty circuit, so when you see an opportunity, you've got to take it.
That's exactly it. And in low-cost racing, if you don't take that opportunity, there's a car behind you that's going to take it away from you. So, yeah, if you see a gap, you kind of got to go for it. And it makes for very close, exciting racing.
Well done.
Thanks very much. Cheers.